Well, many are still talking about President Trump's big, beautiful bill. Helping us to break it down is Eric Segall. He's a professor of law at Georgia State. Eric, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good to see you, my friend. And when you look at the bill as a whole, all right, do you think that we're heading into years of piecemeal litigation, or could this be one major ruling blocking to knock out some of the key parts?
Well, this bill is huge and it's complicated and has a zillion parts, as all of the American people know. It is extremely unlikely that any one lawsuit could ever torpedo this bill. And it's even more unlikely that even if there was law to do that, the Supreme Court would agree with it. So there have been a couple of lawsuits already filed, interestingly, by two different political sides. Planned Parenthood was to a great extent defunded by this bill, and they have filed a lawsuit, and a judge has already enjoined that, but we'll see what happens on appeal. In addition, gun rights groups are trying to make a federal law that regulates guns unconstitutional because those guns are no longer being taxed. Neither of those lawsuits would endanger the whole bill. I don't know the success of either one. My guess is, as is usually true in the Roberts Court, this is not a partisan statement. It's just true. Gun right people win, and Planned Parenthood lose. So that's probably what's going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah. Have there been any other parts of the bill that you've read so far that could be kicked to the courts?
Well, there's going to be a lot of cuts to Medicaid, and that's been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't really see any successful legal challenge to that coming, because usually when we talk about legal challenges to these things, it's the president doing something and someone says Congress didn't want you to do it. But here we have the Congress and the president agreed to do all of this. Whether it's good or bad, I'll leave to your audience, but there's going to be a lot of changes in American society, especially for the poorest among us.
What about any carryover, right? Would there be some changes or challenges for the next person that becomes president with this?
Right. So there are parts of this bill, I think, that liberals like, not many, but some. There are and most of the bill, of course, conservatives like. It depends who's president. But my guess is litigation involving this law will last throughout the next administration. Which side that administration on depends on who's elected president in 2028.
Does it matter who the legal challenges are coming from, whether it's individual, state, or advocacy groups? Does that matter? Does that play a role?
Traditionally, I think states have the best chance of winning these kinds of lawsuits. Some public interest groups do. It's just, these days, groups that side for religious freedom have a great record. Back in the 60s, civil rights groups had a great record. It just depends. And in this court, though, I think states might get a little more credibility than other winners.
Is there any history behind something like this? Have we seen this before at any point?
So, I mean, of course, in the 1930s, the New Deal programs were huge and created all kinds of lawsuits and controversy. Medicaid and Medicare in the 1960s. But this bill is as large and big as any bill I'm certainly aware of, and it's going to change America dramatically. How much of that ends up in the courts, only time will tell.
I've only really heard, obviously, the negative sides mostly about this. Is there anything positive about it that you've heard?
Given my personal politics, I just can't, to be honest, I don't see very many positive things in this bill. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, don't be sorry. Your take is your take, my friend. That's why we got you on here,
But I will say again, I think the bill is not going to suffer a whole lot of successful legal challenge.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Professor, really appreciate you being on with us, and thanks for your insight.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get that last question. I apologize.
Oh, that was a question. I was thanking you for coming on with us, and thanks for your insight.
Thank you for having me.
All right. No problem at all.